Hello, you guys, and welcome to season 3 of Chiquis and Chill in our brand new set, you guys. Round of applause for that. I'm so excited. This is our very first episode, and I am grateful. And I have like little cards. O sea, we are elevating this. So to start this very first episode, the 3rd season, thanks to you guys, to all the listeners, thank you so much. I have a very special, actually 2 very special guests. One of them have been on the pod before. She is an entrepreneur. She is a singer. She is a CEO of a very important company. She's a mommy. She's a wife. And she's my sister, Jacqueline. Jacqueline Rivera Campos and her husband, Mike Campos, you guys. A round of applause for them.
Yeah.
Everyone at home clap too. No, I'm just kidding.
All
or
together
if you're in your
now.
car, just be careful. But anyways, you guys, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you
for being here,
Thank
sister.
you.
Thank you for having us.
I
I love your set. It's beautiful.
Thank you,
It is.
sister.
It's
The
nice.
colors are warm, right?
Very cute.
Gives
Very
me
you.
A lot of ideas.
Yes, exactly. Because you guys, actually, we're talking about this, and thank you, because I wanted it to be very warm and homey, and for it to give you like a nice little just warm hug.
Like a
when you get
hug?
here. Yes. And talking about that, there's a few things that I'm going to talk to my sister and Mike about. I call Mike my bro, or, that's my homie. But I don't want to talk too much about a certain subject, about their relationship, because as many of you may know, or maybe you don't know, Jacqie and Mike, you guys have been married for how long?
11 years in total.
11 years in total.
Yes.
They just got remarried.
Yes.
They just renewed their vows.
Mm-hmm.
And that was beautiful. I have to
you.
say, you guys had a blast at their
Thank
wedding.
you, sister. Your speech was amazing.
Really? I
Yeah.
don't remember. I was a little buzzed. But it was so fun because can I be honest?
Yeah.
The first wedding, I was like, okay, let me tell you guys. The first wedding, there was no alcohol.
No.
There was only
First,
Christian
we got
music.
married on a Wednesday.
They got married on a Wednesday.
Yeah.
My mom and I think stuff was getting a little weird between my mom and I then. So the tension was weird. Anyways, fine. It was great. But this one was so much better.
Yeah.
And
I mean, it's very completely different. I did a
Very.
bandero dance. Like,
yeah.
and an altar
we
call.
did an altar call.
So-
Yeah.
So is it safe to say that you guys were more religious back then?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
And the mindset
living by
has-
the rules.
Living by the rules,
Mhm.
which is, there's a difference between like religion and being a person of faith.
Yes,
Correct?
having a relationship.
Can you guys explain that real quick? I don't know who wants to go first, but you guys.
Well, I'll let Jacqie explain it more in details, but back then it was more taught if you act a certain way like if I look better outwardly, then that makes you a good Christian. So that's why our first wedding, you can kind of see there was a lot of like, let's make sure it looks good. But then at that time, I didn't know what was more important was the inside. So
Yeah.
The relationship.
Exactly, which I see a huge difference in you, Mike, in so many different ways, you guys, because we're going to talk a little bit. And again, the whole point that I was saying was we can't talk too much. We don't want to talk too much about the depth of their relationship because they've gone through a lot and they got remarried and they're just 2 completely different people. Their relationship is completely different. Because Mike, my brother-in-law here, is going to come out with his own, well, actually already came out with his own podcast. His podcast is called, what is it called? I want him to introduce it.
It's embarrassing.
Be
'cause
proud. Be proud.
Well, in the process, I'm working in my own self-confidence and stuff like that. But it's actually going to be called The Mac Effect. So
The Mac Effect, you guys. So I think it's awesome, but it's also because those are your initials,
those
right?
are my initials.
Not
Yeah.
because he's a Mac daddy, but because
He ain't no Mac
Miguel
Daddy. Not
Angel
as
Campos.
It's my initials. It's my initials.
Okay, and then what are you going to talk about on that podcast?
Well, the purpose for it at first, because I actually sat down with my wife and I asked for her help as far as, help me how to schedule the first season. So I already have the first 10 episodes.
Oh, nice.
As far as what we're going to discuss. But the purpose of it is to help other men.
Okay.
I really want to help men because I feel like we don't get that help. Like it's not easy for a man to say, hey, you know what? I'm struggling in my marriage or I'm struggling as a
Yeah.
man.
Especially as Latinos, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm machismo. There's a little
Yeah.
bit of, pride.
Oh, and I'm still going through it now. So
Okay.
that's kind of the purpose. And then if it branches off to other stuff, for marriages and things like that, then let's go for it, and
That's awesome.
and yeah, that's the purpose.
So you guys are going to talk about because there were so many things that were said and not even said, but made up too about your guys' relationship and just a lot of stuff. So I'm sure you guys
Yeah.
are going to talk about that on
Yeah.
there, which I think is super cool because it should come out of you guys. And this is your relationship, and you guys should do it together, which I think is awesome. So congratulations on that, bro.
Thank you,
I think
thank
that's
you.
awesome. I think that's what I do here on the podcast. I'm very honest and about everything, and that's the only way is to change lives is if we're honest and
Vulnerability.
Exactly, being vulnerable. There's so much power in being vulnerable. So I think that's great, especially being a voice for Latino men in general. I mean, I think there's so many taboos, you know, and all this stuff. So I think that's great. I wish you the very best, and maybe one
Thank
day
you.
I can go on your podcast, dude.
Yeah, for sure.
All right.
for
Okay.
sure.
Well, all right. We're gonna go to Mac Daddy's. No, I mean not Mac Daddy's. Mac,
No,
the Mac,
Mac
effect. Okay. So I don't even know. I didn't really have too much planned as to what we wanted to talk about because there's so much to talk about. I do want to kind of, and I'm glad that Mike is here because we've been on the podcast and we've talked about different things, even on Janica's podcast, Over Comfort. You guys check those episodes out as well because we had very deep conversations on there as well.
I cried.
I know. Anyways, we're such crybabies.
Yeah, a little bit. It's
Emilio
okay.
always says, Emilio's like, you and Jacqie are like so much alike. It's crazy.
Yeah.
We're like goofy and silly and like crybabies.
We just, the voice, everything.
Everything. It's true. So this is
I love
my
it.
sister, guys.
I mean, she basically raised me, so
yeah,
it makes
I
sense.
did. So, okay. So I wanted to talk to you about, first of all, the mommy makeover. Okay. Which I was there.
Yes.
I helped out. But I have to tell you guys, and I said this on Thanksgiving. Again, I was drinking tequila, so I don't
speech.
remember too much. But it was awesome because I've seen the change in your guys' relationship and in both of you. But I got to experience it firsthand, being there, helping take care of you.
Yeah.
And I love that he was like, this is my wife. Like, he was like on it, you know what I mean? And like, even the first day, you're like, I respected, like, hey, do you need me there the very first day? And you're like, okay, no, like, I think it was beautiful. But anyways, I got there helping her out. But dude, let me tell you guys, the patience of this man, that I was like, whoa, hasta me dan ganas de llorar. It gets me emotional because he was very different. And he'll tell you guys about this on his podcast. He's going to be like, but he was very different. I mean, even you, sister, were very different.
Very, very different.
You're very different. Now I see it. It's a very strong relationship. But the fact that he was taking care of my sister and was wiping her booty and
the whole
everything, like, was patient. I don't know how this guy did it. I don't know how he did it because he would wake up and take the kids to school and he would make them pack their lunch and the breakfast and take some and then come back and pick up the other one and then take care of my sister. And it was just, I'm glad that Jenica and I, because it wasn't just me, Jenica also helped out, that you freaking were there, dude. And the way that you're loving my sister, like, I can tell you that I'm so grateful that you guys have stayed together and have 4 beautiful children, you know, and I'm very proud of you guys. I have to say it.
Thank
And
you.
what I said on Thanksgiving, and I don't really remember what it was, but I know it was about your relationship. I'm like, this
it was
guy.
beautiful.
And I was crying, I think.
I think you were really grateful for him.
I'm very grateful. I'm grateful for you, dude.
did a
I'm
toast
grateful.
for him.
Thank you.
I'm grateful for you, and I'm
Thank
proud
you,
of where you
sister.
guys have come and
Thank
how
you.
long you guys and how hard you guys have both worked for this relationship. And you guys have, can I say who your therapists are,
Yes,
your
yes,
counselors?
yes, yes.
Okay, because Tanya, who's also been on the podcast, you guys, I met Tanya because of my sister. And Tanya, and I think I kind of touched on it a little bit. So my sister gave me 5 sessions to Tanya for Christmas. And was it Christmas or my birthday?
Your
It was
birthday.
for your birthday.
It was my
Your
birthday. One of the best gifts ever, you guys. And from there it developed, we had she's helped me out so much with so many things. And now she is also, and Rudy is now, Tanya's husband is also now Emilio's life coach.
Wow, that's
That's
awesome.
So it's gonna be, they
Awesome.
did a whole 2-hour session the other day. He came,
That
he
is
was like,
so good.
dude, I'm blown away. I am
Yeah.
blown
Rudy's
away.
my mentor.
He's your mentor,
Yeah.
yeah. So that's who
love
helped you guys, your
it. Yeah,
relationship,
well,
right?
Well, first, Tanya was his therapist
Okay.
before I started going.
I started going to
Because
Tanya
while we were separated,
while we
he
were
was
separated
going.
because
Oh,
I
really?
knew I needed the help. So I started going to Tanya before, and then and it was just crazy. Like, Tanya really blessed me because her testimony is
It's
Mhm.
insane.
insane. And then I don't know, out of the blues, I convinced her again to give me another shot. And while we were talking, I said, well, I told her, like, hey, if we're gonna try this again, like, we're gonna do things differently, which is we're definitely getting counseling. Like, we're not doing this alone. And
Wow.
those were some sessions.
Wow. Dude,
Yeah,
so it came
it was
from you. I
tough.
didn't know this.
Yeah.
See, you guys. Okay, see, I'm a huge advocate for therapy. You guys, I always say
Which
the
a lot of
importance
Hispanics don't.
So thanks to Mike, he's the one that introduced us to Tanya. They're amazing.
Yeah. Honestly, they're a blessing. Breath of life.
Breath of life, you guys. So if you want to check them out, but okay, so that's awesome. And you guys still go with him?
Yeah.
It's. I think it's. Do you think like it's an life thing that we're gonna need?
I think definitely just because we have different seasons in our life. I mean, there's different curveballs that life throws at us, and you just need that sounding board to get it all off.
Yes.
You know, sometimes you're gonna feel really amazing. Sometimes you're just gonna be like, nope, I need to go back, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
It's not like you get better and then that's it. You're good for life.
Yeah. I feel it's kind of like a car. We need our oil change. We need fine tuning. Exactly. Because I think for sure it's something that I want to do for the rest of my life. And now, you know, it's premarital counseling that there are things that you know, I'm realizing, and I'm not perfect, right? You know, I thought I was, but I'm not.
It's okay.
So
it's
I'm
okay.
like, okay. Emilio's so patient. He's just so different. I mean, you should have him on your podcast too.
That would be awesome.
That would be awesome. So you guys can talk about, that would be cool. How is the relationship now that you're CEO? Like, has it been tough? Honestly.
I think there's moments that make it tough.
And I mean CEO of Jenni Rivera Enterprises, by the way, just in case anyone doesn't know. That's our mom. Anyways, go ahead, sister.
That's our mom. I think there's moments that are tough just because I'm totally like Mike is taking care of the home. So there's growth that he had to learn, and then I had to let go in order for me to take care of JRE. But it's a lot of checking in, and we got to talk. And sometimes being intentional about having those meetings is the tough part. Like it takes a lot of intentionality because we can get a disconnect. Okay. And you don't want that. I don't want to get into a routine and then check out of my home because I'm trying to take care of this. So
you're being smart.
There's a lot of intentionality that's needed.
Okay, so when you say take care of the home, like, what do you mean? Like I saw it. So, I mean, you take care of everything.
He does. He's sacrificed a lot.
Yeah, and that's what I wanted to ask you because, again, being a Latino man.
Yeah.
How was that?
Well, and I'll go more into depth, you know, some other time, either here or mine, or it doesn't matter. But
do it on yours. I want to hear it.
What's crazy is just that, you know, there's past trauma that we're still living through, or we were living through. So just to kind of give a little bit of an example, I always say in our first marriage, because we're in our second one, you know, but in our first marriage, we kind of tried I quit my job and I was trying to pursue real estate at that time. And at that time, real estate is just like, it's infested with agents. Like everyone has a tío or a tía or someone that's in real estate. So it's hard. And then it wasn't working for us, and that's when we kind of started having our hardship, and that's when we broke up, when we separated. So then coming back together, I was working, she's working, and then we get hit with the, hey, you know, JRE's coming, I'm going to start working for my mom, it's going to become serious. What do we do? And we started noticing the kids are just everywhere because I was so busy at work, she was busy at work, and we had a nanny or a babysitter, but like JJ, when he would go to the babysitter, he would just start crying. Like he didn't like it.
Yeah. We tried that for 6 months.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was quite some time. And then eventually I just told her, I said, hey, look, I'll be honest, like at my job too, I'm unhappy because it's always, I was a recruiter, and it's always like, get more people. Like it's never enough.
Okay. Yeah.
So there's always demand. So then I'm like, I'm not happy with that. Like I'm not. And we just kind of both felt like, should you stay home? And then I dedicate myself into this full time.
Which for us, it was hard. It seemed like it was going to be the best thing for our family, but it was also carried trauma from what happened the first time. So it's like we had to intentionally heal those things. That way we can do this, because it felt like we both had an understanding that this is what needs to happen. But it's scary.
It's scary. Yeah.
Yeah. And then the machismo part too is like, you know, you don't want people saying that, you know, te están manteniendo and all this stuff. So I had my sessions with Rudy, and I'm like, what do you think? And Rudy's like, bro, if God puts you in a place, what does it matter what people say? Absolutely. That's the place God puts you in. Yeah. And I still battle with it till today. Like till today, I'm like, man, like I feel like I need to be doing something. but you see the fruits in the house. Like
you are doing something.
Like
though.
Jacqie saw.
100%. The kids
Oh
are.
no, I tell Jacqie all the time. You know, I'm gonna be honest. I used to be the one that would criticize the stay-at-home moms. I'll be honest. I would say, you know, how hard is it to stay home?
To cook and to clean.
Yeah,
and
like I'm like, you're cooking, you're cleaning, you're picking up the kids, you're dropping off. Like, how hard can this be?
It is.
And I've been doing it for about a year, and I'm just like, no, honestly, my respects, because es un trabajo where you start at 6 a.m. and you don't stop till 8, 9 o'clock at night.
I know.
And you don't get paid for this, dude. So it's like, it's work.
Yeah.
It's work.
No, I saw it and I commend you, because it's a question I've been wanting to ask you, because we have never talked about it. My sister was just like, she says, you know, it works. I respect it works for you guys. I see why. And I think you raising your children is way better than someone else, especially if JJ was crying.
Yeah.
There's a reason why he was crying.
Yeah.
So he prefers his dad.
Yeah.
While you're doing what you got to do and you figure that out and you're organizing everything, then you guys can figure out what you do next year, the following. Yeah. But I think it's definitely an amazing thing that you're doing, because I saw you wake up super early. My sister couldn't even talk to the kid. She was in so much, she just felt so nauseous. You guys, that's a whole other thing we can talk about another time, but her experience. But it is a lot of work. It is a lot of work. In a way, it's kind of like, oh, just go and wake up and go to work and come back. But staying home, because a dish, lava los trastes el ratito. Boom. That's why I was like, when I was there, I was like, I'm going to help him wash the dishes. Like, I don't want him to worry, because he was caring for my sister and then the kids, and it's a lot. So I personally feel that that's dope, that you could say, I'm going to put my pride to the side and F what everyone else says, middle fingers up, and boom, because it doesn't matter. Rudy's absolutely right. It's what works for you guys. Yeah. And I think it's awesome that you can go and you do what you're doing for mom, which I know that's hard in itself, sister.
I get home super tired sometimes.
It's a lot. It's mentally, emotionally, especially with everything that we've been through the past year with the family. And I'm sure you hear it, because I'm sure she cries at night and tells you, and it's a lot of stress. And that's another thing. Like, I say it all the time. I'm so proud of my sister. And like, I was there, and what it is to, my mom was here physically, like, but when I was helping my mom build her empire, that was hard. But even now, not having her, and you want to ask her, like, Mom, what do you want?
Is this the right decision?
Is this the right decision? I'm like, damn.
It's like, how do you know what she would want?
And how? Like, you have your business. You guys have the colores. You have your household. You have it's so much.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It is. It's a lot. I think, like I said last time, it just takes a lot of intentionality. I think with mom in the business, there's been a lot of signs, which I'm so grateful, because I get peace. But then, you know, there's a lot of drama as well. And I think this year it's been not bringing that stuff home. Yeah. You know, and not checking out at home, because I'm so tired from the day and so emotionally drained or mentally drained. And Tanya told me the other day, like, I think you've checked out a little bit. You got to be intentional at home. Yeah. And keep us like this together. So it's like, all right, pulling energy from I don't know where to ask the kids how they were and help with this and just different things. But I've been trying not to bring the emotional stress home. Yeah. Because, you know, I mean, Tanya told me once that the mom is like changes the energy at home. So
the thermostat.
Yes, the thermostat of the home. And if I'm not okay, then everyone else is going to feel it.
Damn. Yeah. And that's a lot of pressure maybe, huh?
A little bit.
But
I do want to say, you know, publicly as well, and I've said it to her privately, that she's doing a great job, that I'm proud of her as her husband. Like, I see the cleanup that she did with the company, dude. Like really it's almost like she threw almost everything out, and it's like, we need to rebuild from ground up. Yeah. And I see that, and I've helped her with some of that too. Like, we're at the office trying to organize files correctly, and things that you can just tell como que se lo dieron nomás así. Yeah. And like 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock at night, kids there, they're eating in the break room or in the conference room while we're doing putting the files away or whatever. And it's like, man. And then I'm proud of her, because I even see, like, it's silly, but even in like the quality of the shirts, I'm just like, this is way better.
Everything's better. Yeah. Es que era un desmadre. Yeah. Okay, so I just my little sister guys grew up. That's all I can say. Like,
I grew a pair.
It's big. It's huge. It's just like, I'm like, I even said it, I think the other day, I was like, she's now the big sister. And that's how I feel. It's like, sometimes I'm like, okay, this is my sister's position. I respect her. I respect it. Like, and I want to say thank you to you too, honestly, Mike, for allowing her, because this is a huge thank you for letting her take on this responsibility for all of us, you know, for all of us, for my mother, because it was a mess, and it's still kind of, we have a lot happening.
A lot of work to do.
There's a lot of stuff, you guys, stuff that we've never talked about, that I don't know if we ever will talk about publicly, but
only if it's necessary.
I'm not going to speak details, but even Jacqie saw, like, I saw certain files where I saw how generous my mother-in-law was. And I even just started crying because I'm like, that's a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, I do want to say I'm grateful for Mike, because I felt when coming in, ya van a ser 2 años, o ya son 2 años.
Mm-hmm.
I felt unsure of myself and my abilities, but then also as a mom, it's like, I'm only used to being home with my kids. I mean, I worked from home and de colores and stuff like that, and he's definitely, just having that peace of mind really allows me to keep myself focused at work and with the decisions that need to be made, whether it's JRF or JRE. But, you know, I'm grateful because he's even definitely, he's grown. Like, he's learned to cook, you know, not all the big things, but you know, he can make some mac and cheese.
He makes a killer grilled cheese.
Yeah, she did.
Yeah. I was like, damn, this thing's good. Yeah.
So he's that, you know, I'm just proud, and it might not look normal, what people say, but it's really what's best for us, and
that's all that matters. That's all that matters, and the kids are happier, and
they really are. They're doing better in school.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Like, it just kind of goes to show the need of a father in the home.
Yes.
You know, like, they're doing so good in school. They know how to express themselves better. Like, they're so trustworthy. We have Jayla's a teenager now, and you would think this is the time where it's going to get really hard because boys and just whatever and drugs and all that stuff, but she's extremely open, and I've even come to see, like, she's more open with him.
That's what I was going to ask you.
100%.
I saw that they tell him everything.
Yes.
Oh, and this guy, and he did that, and he has this whole conversation. I'm listening, and I'm like, damn, the kids really, like,
they're open with him.
Yeah. Does it make you feel any type of way, like a little, I don't know, jealousy or like?
No? Honestly, it does sometimes. I've had moments where I've felt very, like, outside. Like, I get home and I feel like I don't belong. And I've thought about, like, mom, like, if she's had ever felt that way. But
she felt that with me.
Yeah, like, it's like, no me encuentro sometimes. And then obviously with my sessions with Tanya, she's like, no, like, you just got to fight that and ask them. And they're dying to talk about it. So it's like a little battle that I've had to learn as a full-time working mom. It's like, okay, how do I get myself back into the family mode? So yeah. But there's moments. It's hard, and sure. I've thought of mom. I'm like, man, I kind of get what she might have been feeling, especially if she left for the weekends and
exactly,
you know.
And she did, and I didn't understand that then. And when she asked me to move out, and she's like, I just want my home to feel like my home. I want my kids to feel like my kids, because it was. You know, obviously this is a marriage, it's very different, but like I felt like in a way that was like a marriage. Like she was the husband, you know, and I was the wife, and I stayed home, and the kids, and it's like I would lay down the rules, and then she would come, and it's like, what do you mean? Like, I took away his iPad because he's being a bad boy, but I haven't seen him. Yeah. So it's just like I get that, you know what I mean? So I was wondering, I was like, it's very different, but I know mom felt that way, where I was like, now I get it. Now I'm like, damn, I get it. It was no que estorbaba yo, but it was more of like.
She felt left out.
She felt left out, you know, but that's why I'm glad that you guys are, have your counseling, communication. That's what I was gonna ask you. For a marriage, now that in your second marriage, your new marriage, what are the best advice that you can give us that are trying to make things work? You just said communication. That's huge. Yeah, I think that's huge. What's another one?
She's always right. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding.
Yes, but no. I think it's definitely communication, but more communication when you don't feel like it. There's gonna be sometimes there's moments where you're like, I don't even. But those are the moments you should push through the most.
Okay.
I feel a lot of forgiveness, because you have to remember, like, I thought just because I had met him at church, he was going to be like the perfect guy and he was going to have it all together. But he comes with baggage. I come with baggage. And you have to be ready to forgive, because they're not going to be perfect. They're going to make mistakes. I'm going to make mistakes. So definitely, I think, and then intentionality, especially now, like, because he's tired from being with the kids all day. I'm tired from being at work, but it's like intentionality in our personal relationship. Just because we're taking care of kids together doesn't mean we're building our marriage.
Right. So you guys still have to find that time for you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Which is a little hard sometimes, you know, because I decided to move all the way far away. So I don't have my siblings to help take care of the kids. But I mean,
we got to figure that out.
Tanya and Rudy really taught us that date nights don't mean date nights to get out of your house. That means like just turn off the TV and talk to each other or play a game or.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So,
I thought date night is like go out and get. Okay. Cool. Just be together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Without our phones. That's a big thing.
And have you, sister, ever thought of in this whole almost 2 years of being a CEO, have you thought, I've never asked you this, but have you ever thought, I don't want to do this, I want to quit?
Probably a handful of times.
Okay.
I think
it's,
then it's mostly emotional.
Okay.
It's mostly like, I just can't deal with the emotional stress, there's really hard decisions that need to be made. And I'm like, I wish someone else could make these. I wish it wasn't me. So I have thought and I've prayed. I'm like, okay, how long am I going to be doing this for? Is this forever? Is this just an assignment for this moment?
Okay. Because I don't want you to like give up on your music.
Yeah. So I really have
you
to
put
like
that to the side a little bit, but
just a little bit, but I'm still working.
Okay.
Like I've recorded a few things when I have time.
Okay, good. Good.
And this year is definitely the year my album's coming out.
Thank God. I can't wait for you guys to listen to it.
I'm also going to have to get used to like whatever change it comes to readjust again.
And also to say, okay, you're organizing and it took a long time to organize and put everything the right way and situate it. But once you have those people, I've told you, it's okay. Then you delegate and you're supervising and you could still do you and do your family. Because I think you don't want to live with, Mom doesn't want that for you. I can tell you right now. I know Mom, okay, we all know, but I feel like Mom would say, I need you. She wanted you to be on that stage. She wanted you to sing. She wants all of us to do what we want to do. You know?
Yeah.
So, and I know you never have to worry about all of us, all of us, and I can probably speak for all of your siblings as well. Like, we're going to be fine with it. We want you to be happy. You know what I mean? Like, your family is important. So, I wanted to say that.
Thank you, sister.
If there's anything, a piece of advice as far as like what not to do in a relationship, like something that is like, don't do this or anything. Like for instance, for me, I have a problem with when I'm upset, I bring up stuff that happened in the past that you hurt my feelings about.
Oh, you have it in a file cabinet ready to.
And that's not good. Tanya's like, And then, yeah, she got on me.
Yeah.
She's like, you need to stop doing that. And I said, okay. Because that's like my little card. I was like, well, you did this and this is why I'm like this. And I'm like mad and I'm sad. And, but for me, that's that. Is there one that you guys have?
I mean, you can go.
I used to be like that, to be honest with you. I could definitely hold a grudge for quite some time. Still do, but through counseling and mentorship, they kind of open your eyes to realize like why you're doing that. Mm-hmm. And when you realize why you're doing that, you're like, oh man, that's kind of childish and petty of me. Yeah. So then it forces you to change. But, we all go through our process and we all go through our growth at our own time. So it's almost like I'm not judging anyone else for doing it. For me, it's just almost like it's crazy. Like if, I don't know, the other day, Jayla was like, man, Dad, everyone knows the password to your phone. And I said, everyone in this household. And why? Because I'm not hiding anything. Yeah. So you guys can go through my phone at any time when you want and go for it, Mm-hmm. And she's just kind of looks at me and she's like, okay, whatever, Dad. And for her, it's like, whatever.
First, like, my passcode, absolutely not.
But I know in the future, one day she's going to look back at that and be like, wow, there's transparency there. And
exactly.
That's awesome.
And that's what I see in you too, Mike. Like for you even saying like, you know what, I'm still working on this. I was this way. We had a conversation a few months ago and we talked about it. And I was like, dude, that shows growth when we can say, hey, I'm not perfect. I've messed up. I effed up here. Like that's awesome. And
and I even noticed it like when you were opening the show or the episode, whatever, I even tell Jacqie it recently in a conversation that we were having. I said, with me, talk to me straightforward, like tell me like, hey, you did this wrong, or I don't trust because of this. Tell me, because I'm not afraid to see or to hear that and see if maybe I am wrong, or maybe I can help heal you for you thinking what you're thinking,
Right, exactly.
Because we're afraid to say, like, for example, if she's afraid that I'm being unfaithful, she might be afraid to ask the question, well, I don't want to ask him because he's just going to straight up lie to me. And to me, I'm like, be honest. Like, if that's the fear you have, ask me. And then like you'll be able to see it either in the reflection and how he responds, like, and go for it. Like, my mom used to say, el que nada debe, nada teme. So I'm like, okay.
Yeah. And my mom always used to say, ask. Asking you will learn. Don't be that little girl that's scared to lift your hand. Always ask questions, So it's like, it's true. You got to ask in order to know. So, okay, sister. So you could be doing anything and everything. Okay. You could have said, no, I don't want to do this CEO, JRE, because whatever reasons. Why did you say yes?
Well, I prayed a lot about it because it was going to be a sacrifice on many different levels. And I felt God say, it was actually an analogy of like a basketball in our hands is nothing, but in the hands of LeBron James, it's millions and millions of dollars. And I felt God say, this company in the right hands will be blessed abundantly. And I really felt like, okay, it's going to be hard and it's going to help me grow. And it has helped me grow. I felt Mom so close, like teaching me really to grow. But I feel like it's going to be blessed because it's going to be finally in the right hands. And that's not just me, the right hands, but us.
Yeah. And you've been really good with involving us and everything. I think you've been so great with that. I think you're doing a great job, sister. And I'm sorry for everything that has happened and publicly and so much crap that has been said. And, just for the record, did anyone force you to do this job?
No one forced me to do this job, and no one forced me to sue anyone. It was the right decision that needed to be made.
Okay, sister. Okay, great. Because for some reason, everyone thinks I forced you and that I'm the big bad witch.
Yeah, no.
That is like, do this, Jacqie, and do this, Johnny, and Jenica, you say this, and Mikey, you be a penis. And no, it was not me, you guys.
Not at all.
These kids, and they're not kids, they're grown as hell. Johnny's 23. They're grown. You guys have always had a mind of your own. And I'm here and I respect them. And if I'm like, hey, this seems a little weird, at the end of the day, you have a mind of your own and you have grown so much in so many different ways. You're so different. For the better, you've grown in every way. And I wanted to kind of say that because I'm just like, sometimes I'm like, oh, I want to come out, sister, and say things and get on a live and just go to people's houses. And I'm like, but I'm like, okay, I'm going to compose. You got to trust God.
Trust God 100%. And he knows everything. And just for the record, when I was thinking about this, because just the decision to do the lawsuit was not easy, I think, for any of us.
Yeah, it was very hard.
There was days where it's like, let's do this. And there was days where like, I can't, this is crazy. But you're the one that told me, let's just pray about it. Let's pray a little bit. And we did. We gave it a whole year.
Yeah.
So
a whole year, you guys.
And so I just, Yeah,
we can't talk about the details, obviously, because we're going to leave that in the hands of the law. And we're just trying to do things as right as possible. I know some people might think, oh my God, they're suing their grandpa. It's so much, it's beyond that. And unfortunately, a lot of our family has been very business. And fortunately or unfortunately, what's right is right. And Mom worked very hard for myself and my siblings. And it is what it is. People won't understand it until they know the details.
It comes down to whether you're healthy or not. And I think when you're not healthy, it's when you make it personal, like it's family. But if you take the titles away, if you take away grandpa and if you take away granddaughter, and you really find out what's going on. Wait, this deal didn't pay this deal? Well, that's wrong. Mm-hmm. It's that simple, but because of years, and we're healing from us, right? Like from us. And I could only imagine they have to go through their healing because so many things happen and they thought that was the right way to do business back then. But it's like, no, it's like, way. But then it's like, take away that from someone that was used to that. And it, el niño tira un berrinche. Like it's just, it's going to happen.
Because they had so much in their hands and so much power that then you take it from them. And it's like, the monster comes out, you know what I mean? And it's like, we go back to what we've talked about, toxic loyalty, which, you know, we can't get into it too much right now, but it's like, we can't have toxic loyalty. Like, we got to do what is right.
Yeah.
And they have to do what is right, you know? So anyways, that's a whole other episode, you guys, but I think your podcast is great.
It's gonna be good, huh?
Yes. Okay. So Mike, I have a question for you now. Because I'm assuming that in your household, like, therapy wasn't a thing, or was it?
No.
Like, counseling? No.
No,
Okay.
not at all.
What was it that made you, like, reach out to, like, Tanya? I mean, because thank God you found her, and now we all benefit.
Yeah.
But, like, what do you feel like, especially because, again, being a man, being a Latino man, and men can be embarrassed or feel like, no, I don't need help. I got this. Or what in you, or what was it, or what was
the moment,
the straw that broke the camel's back, that was like, I got to do this?
Well, I was devastated for sure, being separated from my wife, from the kids. And there was like many nights where, you know, being honest, I would go to sleep crying. Like, I'm crying and I've told Jacqie this, like, there was days where I'm literally crying in my bed, and I'm praying to God, and I'm telling God, one day I'm going to have my wife back in this bed with me. And it was tough moments, but my sister was the one that actually told me, she's like, call this lady, like, just find, like, because she also heard her testimony. So then I called her, and I started having sessions, and I started going through certain feelings with her. And it's hard because you're fighting what you were taught as a Latino man, like, you know, los hombres no lloran, or don't feel, or this. And then I started coming to a realization, like, wait, I'm a different type of guy than other guys. Like, I do allow myself to think and feel. And sometimes I even tell myself, like, man, you're a little bit too much. But I'm like, that's the gift God has given me. Like, that's who I am, and I have to embrace that. So through one of my sessions with Tanya, she told me to write a letter to Jacqie. So I started writing a letter to Jacqie, and she said, you know, write the things that you're sorry for, or how you treated her. So I started writing this letter, and then I finished it. And then the next session, Tanya said, all right, read it to me. And then when I started reading it, that's what really impacted me, to like, it clicked something in me to say, I need to start changing. Because in my letter, I was apologizing to my wife. And I'm not crying because I haven't healed from it. I'm crying just because, like, I remember that, and I'm like, man, I was a jerk for suppressing her, for telling her that people only wanted to hear her because she's Jenni Rivera's daughter, for telling her she's a bad mom. And then Tanya said, would you want your daughters to marry a man like that? And that's when I'm like, no, like, I would not. So then that kind of hit me to be like, well, she's someone's daughter. Mm-hmm. And that's when I said, okay, no, I got to change this. I got to start and it just, honestly, that was a transformation that God really did in me. And he said, hey, Mike, instead of speaking these words of death to your family, start speaking words of life. And it was hard because I never grew up hearing that from my dad to anyone, or aunts and uncles, nothing. So, and as I started doing it, it started becoming a little bit more normal. And now, like, I'm just so grateful with God, because I'm like, wow, like, I can tell her I'm proud of her. And I couldn't before. It's weird, but it's just like, that was a transformation that really helped, you know. And that's why counseling, it's very important.
It's very important, you guys. Therapy, we're huge in that. This is the fruit of seeking counseling and therapy, and I can't even say it enough. I'm so proud, you guys. Like, thank you. This is awesome, and I am so grateful that you guys took the time to come, because I know you guys have the kids and it's kind of far, but I'm so grateful. So you guys, before you leave, okay, so the Mac Effect is the podcast. Your guys' Instagram, do you guys want to share it so people can follow you guys and follow your journey and stuff?
Go ahead. Okay, I'm Jacqie Rivera. Only because that's my artist name, not because I'm not proud of the Campos. On Instagram and everything else.
Yeah.
But Jacqie with a Q. Sorry.
I've never told people, follow me on Instagram. So just if you find me, and that's great.
I like that. So I am proud. I love you guys. And thank you for giving me beautiful, wonderful nieces and nephews. I love them so much.
You can have them whenever you want.
Have great kids. All right, cool. And Jenica will help me. No, I'm just going to shoot. Jenica's the best. Yeah. Anyways, you guys, thank you so much. And I will catch you on the next episode of Chiquis and Chill.
Yay.
Yay. This is a production of iHeartRadio and My Cultura Podcast Network. Follow us on Instagram at My Cultura Podcasts and follow me, Chiquis, that's CHIQUIS. For more podcasts, visit the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your favorite shows.